From the band Celestial Ruin, and believe me, we were just having a little chat about, of course, J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, and of course Peter Jackson's version of it, the movie Lord of the Rings, and I've found a big fan of the movie.
Oh my gosh, yes. They are probably in my top 5 movies of all times. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Obviously a lot of CR fans will know I'm actually probably the world's biggest dork. I'm the Lord of the Rings, the Harry Potter, the Star Wars girl. My room is plastered with the Disneyland paraphernalia. I definitely have my inner nerd, but Lord of the Rings hands down are some of the greatest, I think, cinematic works that I have ever seen. Peter Jackson is just, to take something like 3 of the greatest books ever written, to be able to put it on the screen, and for the characters, the way I envisioned them in the book, for it to actually look like that on the screen, to me that's just, he's so creative, and it takes a very special, there's lots of creative people out there, but it takes a very special breed of creative person to do what he's done. Not only in Lord of the Rings, but the Frighteners, King Kong, he just has an eye for what he does, and that to me is just incredible. So coming to New Zealand for me would be just, just thinking about it puts a big huge smile on my face, because I'm like, okay, let's go to Hobbiton right now. Everything else can wait.
Well, I tell you what, I would be honoured to be able to take you and Adam and the rest of the crew to Hobbiton, which is only about an hour and a half away from where we are right now. We're stuck in the middle of 3 cities, to be quite honest. One's Tauranga, one's Whakatane, and then there's the touristy city known as Rotorua. In there's just a few miles away from there, of course, is Hobbiton, and it is a famous place. It is a very, very cool place to go and have a look around. And of course, you know it anyway. You've seen it on the movies. So believe me, it is exactly just like that. It really, really is. Some of those buildings, even I think, gee, I'm 6'2". Am I going to be able to make it in there? But once you get inside and stand up, you'll be amazed how big they really, really are. They're an optical illusion, I've got to be honest with you. But stunning place, absolutely brilliant. And I would like to be able to see a follow-up of J.R. Tolkien's, maybe a 4th book and maybe another movie to come along as well. But I don't see J.R. Tolkien actually coming up with any more literature, to be very honest. But it would be fun. But I would absolutely love to take you guys around and show you their place. Now, having said that, talking of literature, okay, everybody knows what I mean. Talking of writing in books and stuff like this, I was talking to you a little earlier on about Crank It Up magazine, and they have a subscription at the moment between 2.5 and 3 million people following avidly. They really, really do. And we want to be able to put you in there. Of course, John Rain, who owns the magazine, makes movies. So I was saying that before with Warner Brothers, Universal Studios, Bollywood, and is a friend of Quentin Tarantino's. But that's just a bit of his credentials. There's other people involved as well, like Tom Stoops, great guy Tom Stoops, and of course now his wife's coming in involved as well. So within the magazine, do not be surprised if somebody from Crank It Up magazine gets in touch with you in the very, very near future and wants to do an interview with you, more so than what I can put into words over a microphone. They can write it down much better than I can. So don't be surprised if somebody hits you up with that. At the same time, inside Crank It Up magazine, there's a little tab there called Indie Garage, where we promote all the indie artists from everywhere we interview, and you might even find me there from time to time. I do a few interviews, so I'm told, and we emulate these people by putting them in Indie Garage, which is now being picked up, I think, by Fox Television. 105 million people are going to be viewing this, not only in America but around the world. So we want to be able to get Celestial Ruin in there. Can you give me permission for that? Because believe me, we will send you out very, very shortly. There's something where the Americans unfortunately need things in writing, so I'll get Barbara to send you that out so that we can forward on to that. At the same time, we also It,
So of course we try to do whatever we can and take any kind of, like, that's just an amazing opportunity. But things like this don't come along all the time. And like I said, ever since Clyde stepped in for us, we've been lucky enough to be given some of these amazing opportunities. And like I said, the producer that we're going to be working with, like I said, I can't release the name just yet, but believe me, when people are going to hear his name, they're going to be like, oh my god, like when they hear the list of people he has worked with, this next album is going to be huge. It's going to be something like, it's so different for CR, like, to have someone like this part of the team. Him and this guy and Clyde together, like, watch it.
you know that Clyde in his own right, and I love the man dearly. I got to be honest with you. He's a driving force in his own right, to be very honest. But has he ever spoken to you about his brother Mark?
A few times, actually, yes. We have quite a few conversations with Clyde. We love hearing his stories because he's done so much and he's been so many places, and his family's done so much that it's always fun. He's always good for a laugh.
Yeah,
Clyde
yeah.
always has great stories.
Yeah.
All that information you want to send out, send it to Clyde. Have him do it.
Nice, nice. Just one question though. Have you ever had one of Clyde's barbecues?
No.
Oh, you've got to do that. You really, really got to do that. He is an absolute superb cook. I believe me. We do barbecues here, but Clyde is a master chef with one of those spatulas in his hand. He really, really is. So I recommend that you get him out on the back porch sometime, firing up the barbie, and throw a beer at him at the same time. Let's have a beer and a sociable, because believe me, it's a worthwhile experience. It really is. The reason why I asked about Mark is Mark has a TV company, RML, which is Real Music Live, and we would love to be able to get Clyde, to get Mark, to have you guys appear on their shows. Believe me, I think it would warrant it, to be very honest with you. He's absolutely going out to about 85 million people right now, so let's not waste that opportunity. Even though he does R&B and everything like that, I think Mark is looking at expanding his music genre, if you know what I mean. So you never know. Clyde might be able to help you out there. And now that we've filmed this, Clyde, come on, you know what to do, man. Get them on RML with Mark. And then, of course, has he spoken to you about Thornell?
To be honest, he's given us so much information over the last couple of weeks that he probably very well could mention like a million different things, and my brain would not absorb it.
Yeah,
He's a very, very productive busy man.
Yeah, that's Clyde, all right. He really, really is. And absolutely love the man to bits. But his other brother, Thornell, is actually a selector for the Grammys.
That man has got a very connected family.
Yeah, absolutely. So get to know Clyde and get the best out of him. Literally get the best out of him, because believe me, he will bend over backwards for you, and he will promote you extensively, not only in Canada and not only in America, but henceforth around the world, like he's doing right now for you guys. And believe me, it is an absolute honour to be able to talk to you today. Now, I want to talk to you about No Quarter. This is a very, very cool song. I love it to bits, I really, really do. So I want to know everything about it.
So this song was really, this is like symphonic music, European style symphonic music, like hitting the nail right on the head for this one. It's atmospheric, it tells a story. This song is actually about Davy Jones, so the pirate legend of Davy Jones. So now, if people listen to the lyrics, it'll probably make a lot more sense now when you listen to it. And the music, if you focus on it, it should paint that picture of two ships coming into battle with each other and fighting to the death. That's really what I was going for in that particular. It should paint a movie in your head with this particular song.
You know, now that you've said that, a particular movie, well, actually a particular TV series comes to mind, Black Sails, to be quite honest. I get it now, I really do, because when I was listening to it, you know, sometimes you can listen to music, you know you like the song, you know you like the lyrics, you know you like how it's structured, but it's the backstory of how it came to be that is the big part of it, if you know what I mean. And a lot of the time when you hear music on the internet or you go and buy a song or something like that because you like it, you don't actually know that this particular song pertains to something very dear and very near to people. So I absolutely love the backstory on this one. So without further ado, right here at Galaxy 107 FM, here is Celestial Ruin, No Quarter.
Can you get her to turn a light on?
Get her to turn the light on?
It's very dark, the filming.
Larissa, is there a chance I can get you to turn a light on? Apparently the filming here is very, very dark.
Bear with me 1 second, I will see what I can do.
Thank you, dear.
Give me a moment. The sun's starting to go down here, that's why.
Ah. This is absolutely stunning, absolutely brilliant. You got to check out the band Celestial Ruin, coming out of Vancouver, Canada. Believe me, you're going to love them.
Is that better?
Oh, Barbara says straight away, that is so much better. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah,
see
over
her.
the course of the interview, the sun has started shifting. So the light isn't coming into my room anymore, so.
I see, I see. It must be about dinner time over there at the moment, so I really thank you for taking time out to talk to us.
Oh, it's only
no
3
problem.
p.m.
This is a lot more
It's only
fun
3
than
p.m.
Only 3 p.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's afternoon brunch.
I know my time zone.
You do?
Yes, lunchtime.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
very, very cool. We speak a lot to Americans, and normally about this time it's between 5 and 6 o'clock, so it's about dinner time, and I feel, you know, that's precious family time, dinner time, if you know what I mean. So I feel like, you know, I'm imposing a lot of the time, so I thank you for taking the time out to be able to talk to me.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's really not, like this type of stuff to me is fun. Like this is the fun part of being in a band. Everything else, it's like running your own small independent business. Everything else is it's always work. Very like work. And especially right now with writing so much, like my brain is leaking because I'm supposed to write 50 new verses and choruses in 6 weeks for this producer. So
No challenge.
he's cracking the whip on us.
Nah, you'll get it done, it's easy.
So this is like, yeah, this is like a timeout. This is the good, this is the fun stuff.
Nice.
This is the payoff stuff. For when it happens, it's great for people to listen.
Well, we've gone up to 5,689,000, and it's still climbing.
Woo!
Yeah. I love those stats. I love those stats. So now what we're going to talk about is getting you guys here to New Zealand, because we feel that we would love to be able to put you on stage with some of our Kiwi artists as well, and put a really cool show together. Maybe about 6 shows in total for New Zealand. Would you be interested in doing Australia as well?
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. The only thing we'd be concerned about is both Mike and I hate spiders. So all we know about Australia is from what we hear from other people, and it's like, oh, it's a lot like Vancouver with giant spiders. And Mike and I are like, screw that.
Well,
we would rather come face to face with one of our grizzly bears than face to face with one of the spiders that are like this big. So.
Well, I'll tell you as we go into the next interview that we have no poisonous animals in any way, shape or form, and the one poisonous spider that we have can't pierce human skin. It's worthless.
But it's like the size of a dinner plate.
No, this the Avondale spider comes out of Auckland, Avondale. Believe me, it was in the movie Arachnophobia, yeah? Believe me?
Oh, that movie destroyed me as a child. that's where, to be honest, I think that's where my fear of spiders came from.
Okay.
I
Let's go
could
back to
not
the desk.
shower.
Let's go back to the desk.
Well, I don't like spiders either.
Oh, running out of time here. That was so tight it wasn't funny. I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Down to 1 second. How's that before we got back on air? That really was tight, Larissa. It really, really was. So you're an you're scared of spiders. We've ascertained that. And you didn't like arachnophobia, but the spiders they used on there, would you believe they hunted for over a year to be able to try and find some spiders that they could actually process themselves and make for the movie. They do exist here in this country.
Spiders.
Yeah.
Mike and I do not like spiders at all, but yeah, I think it was that movie when I was a child that made me afraid of spiders, because after I saw it, I wouldn't go into the shower or the bathtub without either my mom, my dad, or my grandma scared that the spiders were going to come up out of the drain. He's so bad. No, and then Mike doesn't like spiders. Our bass player, he actually used to collect spiders when he was young. He collected the buckets and stuff like that. But then his dad took him to a museum or something where he could look at the spider under the microscope. And once he saw what a spider looked like under the microscope, that was the not movie saying done. So for the longest time, like Mike and I are like the worst team when it comes to that, because I was going to get rid of spiders. We got rabbits about 2 years ago. We have a rabbit closet, and and he is actually he's good at a variety of things, including spiders. So instead of when we see a spider having an aneurysm and killing it with a shoe or trying to set the house on fire if the spider gets free somewhere, I actually try to capture the spider now and put it out in the backyard instead of killing it. So it's having a pet has given me a whole new appreciation that it doesn't have to die just because it's very okay. You would put it outside, but it's just a better post fun. We don't want something crawling on our face in the middle of the night.
Well, I could come up with a million jokes about spiders and faces, I've got to be honest with you, but you don't want to know them, not one of them. But this is a good segue actually, of being able to get you interested in coming to New Zealand. Now, we were talking about this very, very briefly as we've met each other, and we feel that Celestial Ruin would absolutely kill it here in New Zealand. We want to be able to see you on stages here with some of our bands, and take you up and down the countryside and show you some of our wonderful country and introduce you to a few weird and wonderful things as well. Are you up for trying something a little crazy, a little funky maybe?
Yeah, I think we could. Coming to New Zealand would be amazing.
All right. Well, we have a number of things. We have a number of things that we do here in New Zealand that is a little left field. I've got to be honest with you, a little out of the norm, because we are just that. We're completely out of the norm. We love to have fun. Now, are you up with maybe trying, I don't know, Barbara, trying some wild food? Now, the indigenous folks of New Zealand are called the Maori. And before the Pākehā, the white person, came along, they used to have to eat all sorts of wild foods to survive, as you may imagine. Back in the day when there was absolutely no huts or anything around, just trees, of course they had to find ways of eating. So they come up with this absolutely superb little thing called a hoo-hoo grub. Have you ever heard of one?
Are those fat-looking bird things?
You know,
A giant grub?
You know, you're the first person in 2 years that has absolutely got a clue, to be honest with you. Well done, I applaud you. Yes, it is like a caterpillar on steroids, to be quite honest with you. They're white, they have a black head. You put the whole body, alive by the way, in your mouth and you rip off the head, but when you crunch down on it, it tastes like creamy peanut butter.
Wow, you know, for me, because of my newfound love of, you know, animals and critters, biting off the head of something alive might not be okay, but, you know, Adam has a cast iron stomach. I'm so throwing Adam under the bus right now. He's the one with the cast iron stomach, and he's a lot braver than I am as far as exotic foods go. So maybe Adam would, but I don't think with Mike and I's newfound love of all things breathing, that would have the heart.
Well, I tell you what, and believe me, I've spoken to a number of... Well, we could always drop one in a bottle of tequila for you. You would never know which one it is, except for the size of it. But I got to be honest with you, you're the first person that's absolutely nailed it with the hoo-hoo grub itself. But not only do we do crazy things when we eat things, well, I don't know, Barbara, what say we take them down the bottom of the South Island? Yeah, we'll throw them off a bridge. What do you reckon?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, look, we have a thing here in New Zealand we call bungee jumping, and we like to be able to take people and literally throw them off a bridge. Would you be up for it?
Another fun CR fact here is Mike and I are both terrified of heights. So I'm going to sacrifice my guitar player for this one and throw the Santa off the bridge.
Well, I tell you what, I will go tandem with anybody who wants to go tandem with me. I've done it a number of times. AJ Hackett is a good friend of mine, and yes, I've jumped off a number of bridges, not only in the North Island, but up and down the countryside, and done some really, really crazy things. I actually thought you were going to throw Adam under the bus again, because it sounds like Adam and I are going to get on better than anything when you guys come to New Zealand. But yes.
To be honest, I don't know how Adam would feel. He is definitely braver on like roller coasters and stuff than I am. But I don't know how he would feel about plunging head first off of the bridge. He just texted me and he said he would definitely eat a grub with you.
Nice. Well, Adam and I... Nice. Well, you know, Adam, at the same time, when I say eat a hoo-hoo grub, we're going to come up with a plate load and see who finishes first. Okay, my friend? Looking forward to that. Absolutely stunning. And believe me, I'm looking forward to meeting Adam more and more as we speak. At the same time, just down the road from us is a touristy city called Rotorua, and it is a thermal city. It has geysers and boilies, boiling mud and all that sort of stuff. But it also has an airport, and part of that airport is a thing where I like to go quite often and do some parachuting. Anybody in the band want to have a go?
In my life, but it was connected to the back of a boat over, and it went up. So that's probably the closest. That would be something I would consider, but I might end up, to be honest, checking it out on you there.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people actually say, I get vertigo, I'm scared of heights and all sorts of things. That puts it in the Barbary class, I reckon. I'm looking for the standout person in the band that will say, Grant, I'm up for anything you can give me, because believe me, I can come up with some really, really crazy stuff. I really, really can. At the same time, we may even take you to Auckland, the biggest city here in New Zealand, and take you for a cruise around the harbour, for instance. You will absolutely love it. and we might even be able to get you onto an... Yeah, you know, nothing like having a wine on a yacht at dusk in the harbour. Believe me, it is absolutely stunning. You will love it. I really guarantee that.
I'm with that. I'm on board.
All right. All right. Well, you and Mike will probably be doing that while me and Adam and your guitarist are down the bottom of the South Island kicking up a storm, jumping off bridges. Yeah, fair trade. At the same time, of course, Barbara is always one for wanting to go shopping, so we are sure that you and Barbara will get on like a house on fire and go and buy half of Auckland.
To be honest with you, I'm not even much of a shopper. Like we talked about earlier, I'm more of the kind of person that I love the nature stuff. So going to Hobbiton, going hiking, going down the river. Like I've always wanted to try whitewater rafting. Like I'm more of the nature-inspired person, the more adventurous person that way. Then I'd rather go camping than spend my time at the shopping mall. Let's put it that way.
I love that. I really, really do. And in fact, where we are here in Komodo, in the Bay of Plenty, just 2 weekends ago we had the whitewater rafting world champs literally going on. So we have a lot of that going on here in New Zealand. We're surrounded by water in every direction. We really, really are. And of course, besides being 3 islands, which we are 3 islands, North, South and Stewart, down the very, very bottom, we have a West Island, which we call Australia. They seem to think that they own it. They don't have a clue that we actually own it. We just let them rent it. And having said that, to be quite honest, we've just discovered there's this underwater table that connects us to Australia via Tasmania. Apparently Tasmania, which is the little island at the bottom of Australia, actually belongs to us. It's on our table. It's on our continent. So we're actually asking the Australian government now for back taxes and rents from the day dot. We want them to pay back. Come on.
Want all that money back?
Well, you know, yeah, Australians get a bit picky sometimes, because we New Zealanders know how to spell beer, where they have a beer with 4 X's on their can. So we give them a bit of stick about that. But at the same time, I got to be honest with you, I was talking to a guy from right out in the outbacks who's got himself a band and is actually doing quite well. And he sees kangaroos bouncing through his property every day. So I asked him, how come kangaroos can't bounce backwards? He had no idea they couldn't do it.
I love kangaroos though.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you don't want to get too close. They actually kick and spit, to be quite honest.
I don't want them like balancing up on their tails and like boxing me in the face or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, the tame ones that you find in the zoos and stuff like that, the ones you can pet, are okay. It's just the ones out in the bush and out in the nature ones, the real kangaroos, they're the ones you don't want to have much to do with. But I really didn't know that an Australian didn't know that a kangaroo can't bounce backwards. Who would have knew it?
I can't imagine. Now that I'm thinking about it in my head, I'm like, I can't even imagine how messed up it would be.
Well, it's only me that would come up with a question like that, really, to be quite honest with you. I invent stuff for Australians to try and figure out. I really do. I love pulling them.
This is definitely the weirdest, like, the craziest interview I've ever done. Who would have thought I'd be on the radio in New Zealand talking about kangaroos hopping back?
Well, you know what? This will be like no other interview you will ever do again, to be quite honest with you. It really is. So, having said all of that, and we have one more song that we're going to go through, and believe me, we have kept the most epic song for last. We feel it is the absolute pinnacle of your career, because as soon as we started playing it, we had over 20,000 emails over the weekend asking us who did it, how did it come about, where did it come from, all the information please on Murder of Crows. God, I almost got that wrong. I need to put my glasses on. Murder of Crows. I'm half blind. Tell me all about it, because believe me, our listeners want to know.
Murder our old guitarist came up with it, and I thought it was like one of the coolest riffs I had ever heard. I thought it was so um, so yeah, it really developed and changed over 2 years, and the lyrics entirely got rewritten between one year and another. I completely changed what the song is about. So that, hands down, had the most development, and the changes happened to it. And it's kind of funny because it's weird to see like the different reception of the song. Because like here in in Canada and North America, we get the most requests for Sense of Exile, Nevermore, and Firestorm. So to hear that Murder of Crows is doing so well in New Zealand, I'm like, wow, that's incredible. 20,000 people, like, thank you for taking such an interest in the song.
You know,
That's just an incredible thing to hear.
yes, I got to admit, New Zealand isn't totally responsible for those 20,000 requests and emails of information. We are a global station. It comes from around the world that we get all of our information. And believe me, when people hear a talented song, they recognise it straight away. And they get in touch with us and want to know more about it. This henceforth has happened with Murder of Crows. We had literally tied up our internet on a Saturday, literally wanting to know more about Murder of Crows, because believe me, we have a rock show that we play starting 4 o'clock all the way through until midnight on a Saturday afternoon. And between the hours, and I've got to be honest with you, it was 6 o'clock at night all the way through until 10 o'clock at night. All we were getting was requests and wanting to know more information from Celestial Ruin's Murder of Crows. So, I got to be honest with you, without further ado, having talked about it, we better play it. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. Here it is, Murder of Crows. Gosh, it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, forgive me. Literally, it is so hot up here at the moment. We've got so many computers and everything. That's right, you're right.